eye catches a glowing fragment from a fire. Flashes of red and white emitting heat and light. Glowing hot coals that remains after a fire and can be the beginning of a new one. Embers. They are often as hot as the fire which created them and able to rekindle a fire appearing to be extinguished, posing great fire hazards. They play a major role in forest fires as they ignite leaves that are lightweight and easily carried by the wind traveling up to 40 kilometers. These embers start spot fires well ahead of the fire front, often without warning. Acts chapter 2 verses 2 and 3 tells us that on the day of Pentecost, the sound of a mighty rushing wind from heaven filled the entire house where the 120 sat, and divided tongues of fire appeared to them and rested on each one of them. It was the perfect atmosphere for a fire to spread on those in attendance, igniting a movement. The all-consuming fire of God was the origin, and the disciples, God's embers, carried on the Holy Spirit wind, kindled the fires within each of them. They became burning ones, true embers as hot as the fire that created them and hazardous to the kingdom of darkness. And it didn't stop with them. As is the nature of fire, it spread to others, and multitudes were lit up for Jesus, just when all hope seemed lost. Today it may appear that the fire in the bride has been snuffed out, but look closely, and you will see a remnant of embers refusing to be extinguished. They won't be put out by a watered-down gospel. In a world full of sin, mess, brokenness, and chaos, it may seem that all hope is lost, but there are opportunities all around us to release embers into a world full of dead coals and darkness. We are in an exciting time in our world right now. God's plan for His church has always been greater than the darkness. Spot fires have always been bursting forth all across the globe. Right now, Jesus is lighting fires in the hearts of those who will surrender to His will, and He is intensifying their glow. Just like the church in Acts, people are finding their place in His fiery gaze, pressing into the things of God, naturally setting others ablaze around them. God is igniting His people. Fires are being kindled and furnaces of His glory are being stoked. His breath is blowing on His embers, but there is an intensification coming, a fire even more fierce and menacing to the powers of darkness. We desire to see people fanning the flame to those around them as they press into all-consuming fire, to hear the wind of God bellowing and see embers of His fire blowing off of people, touching those on their path. To see Shadrachs, Meshachs, and Abednegos, those who cannot be consumed and killed by a natural fiery furnace because God's fire has already engulfed them. We were created to burn hot. We were made to carry His fire on the wind as His breath blows over the earth. Get in the line of the bushfire God is releasing now. As His embers burning with expectation of what God can do, all hope is never lost.